What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see the daily Ravens content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Now, before I get into this, I do want to shout out tomorrow, Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be having the second ever live with the viewers. Basically, what we're probably going to be talking about on that is, whatever the viewers ask in the stream comments, but also, just probably talking a little bit about Julio and talking a little bit about things about, OTAs and things like that. Should be a lot of fun, so make sure to come through to that. And I think I can fit one more person onto the stream. If somebody wants to DM me on Twitter at TTB_Ravens, then you can definitely do so, and we can try and get you on the stream. But in this video, we can kind of jump right in. I think a lot of people are getting so caught up in this Julio Jones stuff, and myself too. I talk about it a lot, probably too much, that we're kind of overlooking that there's other players available, other players that the Ravens could potentially target. And I'm not just talking about Justin Houston and Melvin Ingram. There's other guys. Obviously the video is titled about Le'Veon Bell, so I'll talk about him. But there's other guys like Zach Ertz, and I'll talk about him in another video probably soon. But Le'Veon Bell is one of the most intriguing free agents for the Ravens, in my opinion. Before I talk about why overall just Bell as a player, I want to talk about why the Ravens could pursue him. You look at what the Ravens have. They do not have a true pass catching running back. And this is not a shot at Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins. They're just not that guy. They're capable of pass catching. They are not great at it, but they're capable. So it's not a knock against them. This isn't something like, oh, you can't throw the ball to either of them. No, you can throw it to them. But Le'Veon Bell is an elite pass catcher. He is one of the best pass catching running backs of all time. He's not McCaffrey. He's not Kamara. He's not Eckler, but he's kind of right behind those guys. Like, he can run routes. He can do all that stuff. And you look at what the Ravens, what we as Ravens fans saw when we drafted Justice Hill. It was like, wow, we're going to have a guy that in third down situations can run routes, catch the football, make big plays, and things like that. Now, this also isn't a shot at Justice Hill. Justice Hill did not turn into the player that we thought he would be at running back. However, he is still a very, very good special teams player, and he is a key part of this team. Signing Le'Veon Bell would not be me saying get rid of Justice Hill. It would be us having a 4 running back room, and you may be like, oh, we won't do that. Well, we did it last year. And we had a 4 running back room. And then, at the same time, for a little bit, we would have like 3 quarterbacks. Likely we only have 2 quarterbacks this year. So, opening up that extra spot could potentially use it on a running back. And I know that we have some undrafted free agents and things like that, that could potentially make the team. But Le'Veon Bell is an option that would be cheap. You look at, why the Ravens kind of need that. Think about what Greg Roman could do with a player like that. Obviously, Greg Roman, known for his running schemes. Le'Veon Bell is a capable runner. I'll get into that later. But think about a guy that can go out and he can line up in the slot. He can line up out wide. You can put him in motion. You can do all these things, and that he's going to give you a good route. He can make the catch. And he can be that secure pass catcher as a running back. We know Greg Roman loves to utilize motions. I believe he's one of the top 3 in motion usage in the NFL, up there with the 49ers. And I think the Chiefs are the other team. I'm not 100% certain on that. I know the 49ers and the Ravens. But you go in the pistol and you got Le'Veon Bell, and all of a sudden he's motioning and he's getting out wide. And then you still got, maybe J.K. or Gus behind Lamar. And you're like, oh, crap, what are we going to do to stop this? And those types of situations that could be created by having a guy like Le'Veon Bell. I don't think teams are going to be afraid if Gus Edwards or if J.K. Dobbins ends up motioning outside, motioning into a wide receiver spot or doing anything like that. I don't think that that causes a lot of chaos. Can the play be successful? Yes. But they're not worried about it. Le'Veon Bell still is a player that would command that, we got to pay attention to where Le'Veon Bell is on the field at all times. Now, in terms of what type of player he is currently, because I think a lot of people will have questions about that. It's been a while since, his glory years in Pittsburgh, you could say. He took the break. Then he almost went to Baltimore, which is funny enough, a little bit ironic. Then went to New York, and I think people were like, oh, he was horrible in New York. Well, I don't know if any running back would have done well in New York. I really don't. I mean, you look at that offensive line, and especially last year, you look at what he did last year. He played 2 games. He started 2 games for New York. He started 2 games for Kansas City. He didn't perform super well. But you look at that Jets team. That is a horrible team. That was a very, very bad football team with a very, very bad offensive line. And he only started 2 games. Then he went to Kansas City. And Kansas City does have a good offensive line, but it's not necessarily a run-heavy offensive line. Like, they're a pass-blocking offensive line, and they're very good at pass blocking. Run blocking, not so much. And Le'Veon Bell is the type of player. He may be the most patient running back in the history of football, and that's not a knock against him. It's an advantage that he has, but it's also a disadvantage when you don't have an offensive line, because he is somebody that will hit the most open hole. It takes him a while to get there, but he's able to hit it. He's able to have that quickness once he makes that decision, but he's willing to wait. If you don't have a good offensive line, he's going to get tackled in the backfield. That's just what's going to happen. And that's what happened, last year with New York, even 2 years ago with New York in 2019. But I think people overlook his 2019 season because he was good. Was he a top 5 running back? No, he was in New York with a terrible offensive line. But when Sam Darnold was playing, that's the big key. Remember, Sam Darnold missed a bunch of games with mono. He was very good. He was catching the ball very well. I think he had over 400 yards receiving that year. He had over 700 yards rushing, and that's obviously with Sam Darnold missing significant time. That Jets team was good. I believe they had a winning record with Sam Darnold when he played. Like, when they didn't have mono, when he had mono, I'm pretty sure they didn't win a single game. And that's just something that you can look at as like, wow, he was still able to be effective in the passing game, even with a bad offensive line, as the style of running back that he was. And then obviously, if he came to the Ravens, what would you guys rank our rushing attack in the NFL? I would say number 1. I'm pretty sure not many people would disagree with me saying that we have the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. In terms of run blocking offensive line, probably top 5. In terms of scheme, we're definitely number 1. Like, that type of thing, adding a Le'Veon Bell, and he wouldn't be a workhorse back. Not at all. He would have little opportunities of just rushing the football. It would mostly be in the passing game, but he would still be able to dominate. And if all of a sudden he came in to the Ravens and all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow, this guy's taking Gus's runs, who would be mad if a player outperformed a current starter? Just because people may be mad, like, oh, we can't take away Gus's snaps. Well, if he's outperforming him, that's fine. I don't think anybody that's a Ravens fan going into next season, if all of a sudden through week 5, Tylan Wallace was playing better than Hollywood Brown, and we started giving Tylan Wallace more snaps, everybody would be happy because it would be improving. And this isn't a prediction saying Tylan Wallace is going to be better than Hollywood Brown. Nothing like that. But it's just that thing where, like, if a player outperforms somebody, that's always a good thing. That can't be a negative unless it's a player underperforming and performing below somebody else's standards. But if somebody plays up and is able to pass somebody on the depth chart, good. Like, that's always a benefit. So if he was to take a lot of runs and things like that, that wouldn't be a bad thing if he was able to earn it. But initially, it would be a very limited rushing attack. But he would be out there and he would be catching the football. He'd be there on third down situations. And that would really create, you get into a 3rd and 2 situation and you put in Le'Veon Bell, obviously with Lamar Jackson, the ability to run an RPO, the ability to run, you just a design boot, you run a play action, you can just run a, read option, those types of things. Le'Veon Bell would really be able to open that option up as the pass catcher that he is. And again, Gus and JK are capable, but they're not excellent. Le'Veon Bell would be excellent. And he would be very cheap if the Ravens were to sign him, like literally like a minimum deal. You look at what he signed in Kansas City last year, and it's not like he performed to a level where everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Le'Veon Bell's back." No, he's going to be cheap. And I really think that he could be a very good value signing to the Ravens. Because he'd be able to bring that passing attack, boost that up a little bit. Obviously, we brought in the wide receiver weapons, but boost the running back weapons. Why would that hurt? It could absolutely help. We've had 4 running backs in the past. I don't think we'll have 3 quarterbacks again, so we'll only have 2 there. So we have an extra roster spot. Use one on the running back, and then use it somewhere else. Maybe you want to add a wide receiver spot and keep Miles Boykin. I wouldn't want that, but maybe you use it and you're like, oh wow, we want a designated return man or something like that. All those things could absolutely happen. So for me, I would definitely be happy with the Le'Veon Bell signing. But let me know down in the comments what you think about what this move could be and if you would like it for the Ravens. And this isn't something me saying like we should get Le'Veon Bell at all costs. No, it's you get him at a cheap deal. It's been a while in free agency, and you could probably get him for cheap, and I think it would be worthwhile. So let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. If you disagree, completely okay. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content, and I will see all of you again tomorrow.